Hello. So I just thought I would try and help out some new readers to Warrior Cats and kind of tell you guys what I think the best reading order is. Personally, I think a lot of people have different opinions on how you should read the books, but this one is mine, and if you read it in this way, you should be able to understand everything, okay, and be introduced to things at a good pace without spoiling stuff for yourselves. So first off, I'd start with the first arc, which contains Into the Wild, Fire and Ice, Forest of Secrets, Rising Storm, A Dangerous Path, The Darkest Hour, and then that's it. And then I would pause between arcs and read Firestar's Quest. It'll introduce you to a new clan that will be vital later on to the main plot. And it throws in some stuff that happens in between arcs that might be a little confusing if you skipped it. After that, you'd move on to the second arc, which is the New Prophecy. And it has Midnight, Moonrise, Dawn, Starlight, Twilight, and Sunset. After that, I think this would be a good time to stop and read SkyClan's Destiny, because it tells you more about SkyClan, which, like I said, is important to later plot. And then after SkyClan's Destiny, I'd go ahead and read the manga SkyClan and the Stranger, because it will tell you more about SkyClan plot, and it introduces you to a new villain that shows up later on in the main arc as well. But if you really wanted to, it's not too important, so you could skip the manga, because I know a lot of people don't like the manga too much. I like them. I think they're really interesting. And if you do decide to get them, I would try to find them in color. And then, honestly, you could do this before the New Prophecy or in the order I'm telling you right now, but I would read Blue Star's Prophecy and Crooked Star's Promise if you want more in depth to the villains that are going to be coming soon, because they both introduce a villain that shows up later on. But if you don't care about knowing the villains' backstories, then you can skip these as well. And finally, you'll go on to the third arc, which has The Sight, Dark River, Outcast, Eclipse, Long Shadows, and Sunrise. And that arc is called The Power of Three. And then The Power of Three is really intertwined with Omen of the Stars, with the plot. So we're not going to read anything in between those two. And you'll continue with Omen of the Stars, which has The Fourth Apprentice, Fading Echoes, Night Whispers, Sign of the Moon, The Forgotten Warrior, and The Last Hope. After that, you'll want to stop and read Dovewing's Silence, because it's basically the actual ending to the arc, because they weren't going to continue with this arc, but they do end up going back. So it does throw in a lot of, it does close a lot of loose ends. After that, I would stop and read the novella Ravenpaw's Farewell, because it throws in some more minor SkyClan plot if you want to know everything to know about SkyClan before you get to the next arc. And it has some pretty important character development as well. Then I would read the Super Editions Crowfeather's Trial and Bramblestar's Storm. They both introduce a lot of character development that I feel like is kind of important to know before you continue, or you'll be a little confused. Bramblestar's Storm is a little bit more important than Crowfeather's Trial. You could probably skip that one. And then you'll read the first book of the next arc, A Vision of Shadows, and the book is called The Apprentice's Quest. This arc gets kind of weird, because you'll want to pause after that book and read the Super Edition, Hawkwing's Journey, because it's really important to the main plot. You really can't skip it. And then you'll read the next two books of the arc, Thunder and Shadow and Shattered Sky. And then you'll stop again to read another Super Edition, which is Tigerheart Shadow. It's also super important, and I really wouldn't skip it if you can. Then after that, you finish off the arc with Darkest Night, River of Fire, and The Raging Storm. And going back for a second, whether you read Darkest Night first or Tigerheart Shadow, One of them is going to spoil the other one. I always think Tigerheart Shadow is best first because it spoils a little less. So that's just my opinion, but if you want to do it the other way, that's fine. Then I would read the novella Tawny Pelt's Clan. It gives Shadow Kit some important character development, in my opinion, but you don't really need it. You can skip it if you want, but if you want to know everything about character development as you go, I wouldn't skip Tawny Pelt's Clan. And then you'll want to read Squirrel Flight's Hope, the Super Edition. If you skip this, you will get something really important spoiled for you, so I would really read this first. And then you're going to want to read the first 4 books of the Broken Coat arc, which is Lost Stars, The Silent Thaw, Veil of Shadows, Darkness Within. And then you'll want to stop again and read the Super Edition Graystripe's Vow. It has a lot of important character development for Graystripe. If you don't care much about learning about how Graystripe fulfills his role when he gets back, you can probably skip it. But it is pretty good, so I wouldn't. And then you'll want to read The Place of No Stars. And it isn't out yet, but I'm going to assume you probably want to read A Light in the Mist after that. And then you'll be caught up with the main plot. But then after that, I would catch up on all the rest of the Super Editions. So Tall Star's Revenge, Yellowfing's Secret, Leopard Star's Honor. And then I'd read the mangas. Graystripe's Adventure, The Rise of Scourge, Tiger Star and Sasha, Ravenpaw's Path, A Shadow in RiverClan, and Winds of Change. Because they're not really important to the main plot, so you can read them last. But I would read all of these before you read the novellas, because some of the novellas rely on information from the Super Editions. Except for the ones I already mentioned. So the novella bind-ups are The Untold Stories, Tales from the Clans, Shadows of the Clans, Legends of the Clans, A Path of a Warrior's Spirit, and A Warrior's Choice. But skip those ones that you already read, and the ones that will deal with Dawn of the Clans, because you're going to read those last. Or you can read Dawn of the Clans last, or you can pause in main arcs if you want. It's just a prequel series. It's not really needed. But you will want to read The Sun Trail, Thunder Rising, The First Battle, The Blazing Star, A Forest Divided, Path of Stars. And that's when the arc ends. And then you'll want to finish the arc off with the Super Edition Mothflight's Vision and the novellas Thunderstar's Echo and Shadowstar's Life. And you will want to read it in that order to get the entire storyline from that arc. So I hope I read that in a way that you'll understand, but if you have any questions, please just let me know and I will really help you out. I know how many books there are in the series can make it really confusing on how you should read it, especially since a lot of the side stories are important to the main plot. So I would be happily willing to help anybody out if they need help. Thank you so much for watching, and you have a great day.